Hello everybody, DEMONJESTERJ here with 5 questions to a mile maker plus. And my guest is today?
Hello, I'm Matt and I'm the editor for the blog PowerArmouredMetal.
And what's your name?
Matt.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Thank you. I got invited to interview by one of 11th Legion followers.
Yeah, I know them. They're quite good guys.
I just want to tell you that, so that's why I am interviewing you.
Okay then.
Alright. Now, are you ready for it's not 5 questions anymore, it's 5 plus. There's 8 questions now total.
Yeah, I'll be ready for those extra 3 questions.
Alright. Ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Alright. Number 1. Who are you, and please tell us about yourself and your hobby, and also, do you have more than one hobby?
Well, I'm Matt and I'm a university student from the University of Huddersfield in my second year. My main hobby is Warhammer 40,000, but I also like to write. Occasionally I do a bit of science fiction writing, newspaper writing, and occasionally, if I get the chance, a bit of woodwork too. But that's a very rare occurrence. But at the moment, I'm working on a dedicated workbench, so I can actually have somewhere in my house where I can just work on my things and wheel it away when I don't want it.
Cool.
Yep.
Alright. Ready for number 2?
Yep.
Alright. What got you into your hobby, and how long have you been into it?
Well, the hobby started probably about 10 years ago when my friend got me into it, because I moved to the outskirts of town, so I didn't actually get much out of school time with friends. So I had this one friend on the street. He used to play Empire. He showed me the models and said, you should get into this. It's really cool. And being like a 10-year-old, you want to be a knight. So I naturally went towards Bretonnians. So they were technically my first army and my first models as well. And then it sort of developed into that. I learned about 40k, got a blister pack, decided I didn't like that army, got a different blister pack, and then it developed into the army it is now, nearing about 3,000, 4,000 points.
Wow. I know those times.
It's not completely finished. About 1,500 of that is unfinished projects. Yeah, because I have a very short sort of, not attention span, but if I see something cool, I will want to make that, and occasionally forget about whatever I was making before, come back to that. I'll have a new idea, so I'll destroy an old project to make a new one. It's just non-stop, really. So one day I will finish that army.
Like I told a couple other people that I have interviewed, I swear that almost every wargamer I've met has a slight version of ADD. Ready for the next question?
Yep.
When and why did you start making YouTube videos, and have you met anyone from YouTube because of it?
The YouTube videos sort of started because I wanted to expand on the writing aspect of my blog. I always do my writing, so I thought what it'd be like to get into videos. It hasn't been running long enough to meet a load of people, but it did give me a good chance to meet Wargamers on the Budget's Mario, who's a really great guy, knows his stuff, and is actually a really fun guy to talk to.
Cool.
And although I don't know many people yet, I hope to eventually meet some of the higher names in YouTube, effectively, get to know them better, and hopefully learn some new tips in the process.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see, you can never learn everything, so there's always something new to learn, which is the fun part.
Oh yeah. Alright. Ready for number 4?
Yeah, see what's up.
Do you have any tips for anyone new getting into your hobby or making YouTube, and including YouTube videos?
For the hobby aspects, I'd say go rule of cool. Rule of cool is what you should always do with starting a new hobby. You don't really want to get the best army because you might not enjoy it. You might win a lot, but you might not enjoy it. I think you should go get the models that you think look the coolest, fit your style of play. Like if you like sword battles, you want a close combat army, whereas if you like artillery, you want ones with big guns and big tanks. So decide what theme you want, what colours you want, what models you want, and then set yourself a budget, because I'll admit it, it's not a cheap hobby, so you don't want to get carried away. If you can, buy second hand, because you can find some really good cheap models, and even if the paint job isn't that great, there's always ways to get rid of it. So you should never be put off by an awful paint job. The YouTube videos, I don't really have any major tips because I haven't been in it long enough to have experienced like
That's okay.
YouTube. But I'd say go for it. It's a great way to get yourself out there, get like viewings, meet new people. So it is worth doing.
Well, this is one of the new questions.
Okay.
It's number 5. Do you like an airbrush or a paintbrush to make to paint your minis or models, or to use both?
I'm actually probably going to be slightly biased with that because I've never used an airbrush.
Oh.
So I have to say paintbrush. I've used paintbrush for 10 years. I've kept thinking about buying an airbrush, but I don't know enough to know which is a good airbrush, what you need to do, what you need to look out for, maintenance tips.
I'm going to shout out Consortium on this one. You know this Consortium, right?
Yeah.
Look at some of his videos. He has some basic, him and Les. Okay? Where the, I can't believe I just blanked on his channel page. You know who Les is. Everybody knows who Les is. There are 2 channels. They both talked about airbrushing.
Yeah.
I would recommend watching them because it'll help you try to figure out where to go.
Yeah. Do you happen to know what sort of budget I can expect to pay for a good quality airbrush?
Well, there's different prices. There's places you can look on Amazon and eBay for a basic, decent single action airbrush to get you learning how to start for just priming coats, to just learn how to control an airbrush, or you can get yourself a regular dual action. But it matters on where you look. You have to look at the prices. Sometimes you can get a brush for $96. Sometimes you get a brush for $200. Sometimes you get $300. It matters. You can always get a good deal. There's some people out there selling their whole stuff on Amazon and eBay, and all you have to do is clean it up for a couple days.
Yeah.
So there's that. You can go that route too.
Yeah, I certainly could love something to look forward to doing because you can get some really cool effects from an airbrush. I saw this one model on the Dakar forums. It was an Necron monolith, and it had airbrushed flames. You know, like on like a muscle car.
Yeah, I see. I know who did it.
It was green flames, was it?
It was green and blue flames.
Yeah, it looked really amazing. I know it's impossible to do that from the start, but it would be amazing to figure that out because that's a fantastic effect.
Flame effects with airbrush. I learned how to do it with them when I worked on my stepfather's motorcycles, and it's mostly all template work. So if you create your own templates and learn how to make the curves and all that, it's very easy at first. It's one of the very first feathering effects that I recommend learning.
Yeah.
All right, so you're a paint man because you never used airbrush. That's understandable. Trust me, once you get that little extra tool, you'll be addicted like crazy.
Yeah, I only ever heard good things about airbrushes, so I will look forward to that.
Number 6 is a new one too. What was your favorite mini or model to paint and why?
That's a tough one because I've been playing and gaming for about 10 years. There's been so many good models at the time. If I were to narrow it down, I would say 40k Dreadnoughts, the Dreadnought chassis, and mainly the Forgeworld Contemptor Dreadnoughts.
Ooh, they're nice.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them, and both of them were great to paint.
Okay, now I'm jealous of that.
No, it took a lot of saving, and because I'm not your typical student, I don't spend 30 quid a night drinking.
I know. I understand that too.
But yeah, it took a long long time to paint both and very daunting because it's nearly a £50 forge load model. You don't want to mess it up.
Exactly.
Because first off, you've got to get it posed right. You don't need to have a silly pose, and then you've got to use the right paint to get and try loads of techniques. I mean, they both look slightly different, but they were both great models to paint. There's so many flat surfaces on them that you can add artwork to, and even though it's not a painting aspect, the posability is great since the legs are in like 3 or 4 pieces, so there's pretty much endless possibility for posing.
All right.
And even the basic plastic dreadnoughts, they're quite fun to paint for the same reasons, lots of flat surfaces and lots of places to modify them.
Cool. Ready for number 7?
Yep.
What is your opinion of a model maker to a wargamer?
I think they've got like sort of different frames of mind when it comes to what they do. Because I think a model maker would focus all of his attention on creating a model, a great model. And I think the wargamer would probably have more of a focus on the game itself. Personally, I'd sort of identify myself as both because I do like to make a really cool model, but I do like to use it as well. With model makers, I think they have a great attention to detail because they're not focusing on the game as much, so they have more time to focus on the little details that really make a model stand out from some person who just simply put it together and had no sort of passion towards it. I'm not saying there are a lot of those people, but I'm sure they exist. And with a gamer, they like the painting. I'm sure they like the painting aspect too, but the game gives them as much entertainment or more entertainment than the painting side. So each person sort of has their own take on the thing, but both get enjoyment from the overall hobby.
All right. Last question. All right, number 8. Who do you think I should ask these questions to next, and why?
I'd probably say the guy who runs the Naval Command blog, Adam. And this is probably for a number of reasons. One, because he is a Naval player, I'm a Siege player, so we're opposites, so it'd be interesting to get an opposing view.
That's cool.
2, he's a great guy who knows his stuff and always has some interesting ideas in mind, and we often share ideas. And 3, because we're actually having a competition between each other for who can come up with the best warlord for a Chaos Space Marine army. I've come up with a jetpack riding Siege executioner, and I have no idea what he's come up with, so it'd be interesting to see what his idea is, really.
Oh, wow, that's kind of cool. I like the idea that you came up with. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I bought the Forge World Scimitar jet bike.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I bought that at the best.
You know what bikes I really like? I like the I can't pronounce the name of it. Chemlock Minis. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They have 3 bikes. They're sci-fi looking. They're almost Tronish looking.
Yeah.
For 22 pounds.
No, good.
Just want to tell you.
Yeah. So I got this bike for Christmas. I didn't realise quite how massive it is. I've got both of them here. Well, I've got a normal bike and a regular bike, but I didn't realise like the size difference between the two.
Yeah. One's beefy.
It's about twice as long as a normal bike.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a great, hopefully when it's finished. And I reckon Adam, who should have an interesting model because he's bought 3 separate kits for one character, so it should be interesting to see what mishmash of ideas turns out.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely recommend Adam.
All right. Well, that's the show. And
Yeah.
right now, this is what I call shameless plug time. You can plug yourself. You can plug your channels. Everything you say now, I will put in the credits. And also, if you want to give a shout out to some friends, go for it. This is your time to shine for yourself.
Well, I might as well start off with the blog, which is the main bit. www.PowerArmouredMetal.blogspot.com, I think. I can't remember the full title since it's.
Don't worry, I'll put in the credits and in the description. You already gave that to me in a list.
Okay. There's PowerArmouredMetal.blogspot.co.uk.
Okay.
The YouTube channel is PowerArmouredMetal with no edit. Legion, God, they brought me, and the general local gaming scene, who are all the guys to play with, although I haven't been a few months, which is a bit annoying. I would like to go soon, though.
Alright. Can you repeat what you just said because it started glitching out on the net?
From which point?
The whole thing.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll start off with the blog. It's www.poweradmetal.blogspot.co.uk.
Okay.
The YouTube channel is PowerArmouredMetal with no spaces in it, so it's just one word.
Okay.
And for people who I'd like to give a shout out to, I'd like to give a shout out to Adam, who hopefully I will see soon on this. 11th Legion for recommending me to you, and the gaming scene in Huddersfield and Scarborough, my hometown, because both those places have great gaming scenes, and hope to get back to both of them soon.
Alright. Well, that's everything.
Hi, cool.
I have to say thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for the opportunity.
And what he just said, I put all the information in there, even though we had a little internet problem.
Yeah.
Like I tell everybody, keep the blade sharp and make the hobby be fun. Bye, everybody.
Bye.